guys, it's Ryan here with another video, and today I'm going to be telling you guys about my experience with the iPhone 14 Pro Max. So if you're new here, smash that subscribe button and turn on post notifications so you don't miss my next video. So I didn't really plan on doing this video because YouTube is already saturated with a lot of iPhone videos, but everyone's experience is different, so I figured I would share my experience with you guys. So I've always been an Apple fanboy ever since the iPhone 4, but before the iPhone 14 Pro Max, I had the iPhone 12 Pro Max. It was a great smartphone and I loved it. And even though it's hard to tell them apart without turning on the display, the differences are huge. So the 14 Pro Max looked really attractive to me, especially when it's out of the case. I like the fact that it has squared edges and round corners. This makes it easy to hold and type. That's also the case with other smartphones, even the iPhone 12 Pro Max. But there's just something special about the 14 Pro Max. For some reason, I get a more satisfying feeling when typing on it. Not sure why, but it feels different to me. Now that we're on the topic of typing, let's talk about the lovely Super Retina XDR display. iPhone displays typically look really nice, and everyone would argue that there hasn't been much change. But I beg to differ, because with the addition of ProMotion and the 200 nits brightness for outdoor use, the experience is a lot better. It has a slightly higher resolution, and you can definitely tell that it looks better. Not to mention the always-on display that allows you to glance at your phone to see the time or weather based on your widget. And with the iPhone 14 Pro Max, everything feels smooth and responsive. The integration of the dynamic island is a marvel of engineering, because despite what everyone might think, I love it. I'm able to minimize my phone calls without having it hovering at the top of the screen, as well as access my music without pulling down the control panel. And there are a ton of other things that the dynamic island can be used for. I personally think that having 120 Hz on an iPhone was long overdue, and I mean they had it on the iPhone 13, but I didn't see the need to upgrade from the 12 to the 13 because the changes were pretty subtle. So I consider myself a pro user. So in other words, I use my phone for more than just day-to-day tasks like call and text. So when I do upgrade, it has to make sense to me. I have to be able to justify spending $1,200 to get a new smartphone. I do enjoy all the features of the phone, but the ones that matter to me are the CPU performance, battery life, and camera quality and performance. I'm able to use Apple Pay at gas stations and stores on my iPhone 14 Pro Max, as well as all the creature comfort of the Apple ecosystem on my iPhone 14 Pro Max. But if I'm being totally honest, I upgraded to the iPhone 14 Pro Max for the camera. With the integration of the 48 megapixel main camera, I'm able to capture better quality photos and videos from my iPhone. This eliminates the need for me to travel with my mirrorless camera and a gimbal in an attempt to capture great footage. There is no need to do that anymore when you can get similar quality footage on your iPhone 14 Pro Max. The 48 megapixel main camera is able to capture stunning photos with good enough exposure and sharpness. And if we are really honest, most of the pictures that we take are for social media purposes. And for that, the iPhone 14 Pro Max delivers. Even if you want to take it a step further, you can capture your pictures in 48 megapixel RAW, which gives you more flexibility to edit them in Lightroom or Photoshop. You can also capture photos and videos in Smart HDR if you wish to do so. And the improvement in the camera system does not just stop with great photos. Apple made improvement to the video mode as well. They were able to add better stabilization with what they call action mode, which essentially means that you can use your iPhone without a gimbal and get smooth, jitter-free footage. I think that is a great feature because it eliminates me taking an additional piece of gear whenever I travel. Apple also added a 2x and 3x focal length, which I find to be very useful, because on my iPhone 12 Pro Max, I only had a 1x and 2.5x with the exception of the ultra-wide lens. Remember earlier when I said one of my reasons for upgrading was battery life? Well, Apple bumped up the battery capacity to 29 hours of video playback, which I think is really good, because on my iPhone 12 Pro Max, I was only getting 20 hours of video playback. So with the new A16 Bionic chip, the iPhone 14 Pro Max performance is seamless. I'm able to take only my iPhone 14 Pro Max on trips and able to capture, edit, and upload great videos with no issue. And I'm sure that is something that all creators appreciate, the convenience of not lugging around a lot of gear, and at the same time being able to capture great footage with just your iPhone. And in a lot of situations, your iPhone is way more versatile than your mirrorless camera because you're able to get shots in smaller spaces that you wouldn't be able to with your DSLR or mirrorless camera. Your iPhone 14 Pro Max is also water resistant, so you can use it at the pool and at the beach without worrying that it's gonna get damaged because of its water resistant at a depth of 6 meters for up to 30 minutes. So you might be wondering, is there anything that I don't like about the iPhone 14 Pro Max? Well, there is a few things. The first one is that I wish I had more reach with the telephoto lens. The second thing is that I wish I was able to get 4K 60 in cinematic mode. I also wish I was able to get 4K 60 in action mode instead of just 2.8K 60. Outside of that, I think the iPhone 14 Pro Max is one of the best smartphones that you can rely on when it comes to content creation. And you don't have to go with the 14 Pro Max. You can also go with the 14 Pro if you like the smaller size phone. I will be linking the 14 Pro and the 14 Pro Max in the description below for those who want to check it out. So guys, that is it for my experience with the iPhone 14 Pro Max. Leave a thumbs up if you liked it. Thanks for watching and catch you guys in the next one. Peace.